special.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of
fluxings
locations
going on.
and do some
all
cool
the magnetic fluxings going on with the Earth at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot. You can see the book down from south. The aurora.
It'll come up further once it starts to really wobble.
True. What makes it wobble?
Well, what will they call it? Like when you depending on what you're looking at, like if you however you look at the realm, from the living on a oblique spheroid, as current data currently shows, then the little core inside. Like, didn't they just find out recently that it's not just a little ball in the middle? Like,
no, it's not a ball at all.
Ball inside a fucking another big ball.
Yeah, they're rotating at different angles.
Yeah, and
we've got a
different
gyroscope
directions
inside us all.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Keeping us centered and keeping us fucking upright.
Yeah. Giant gyroscope.
All
just randomly
plays a gyroscope. That's it. All plays a gyroscope. What an incredible
and actually the Earth isn't, also the weight is not evenly distributed. There's like there's sections of density. The section, like the density in the Earth isn't. The textbooks out just shows these rings that are like circles.
And there's many layers
not
which
like
are
that at all.
completely aqueous. Sorry, like there's a permeable medium which has water in it.
Yeah, like planets are not like a contiguous material. It just like goes from
it's rocks and jetsam mostly. Yeah, as it and the crust is like the
just fell apart.
Well, the crust itself, right, going down to, let's say, 10,000 meters under the ground of where you're standing, right? That crust itself, it's many layered, and like I said, like especially here, I've looked at a lot of the geology maps for Brisbane and the greater area of Queensland. It is where the volcanoes were, the old super volcanoes. There's a lot of different material all over the place. Like, it's scattered. There were some big explosions that went off here in the early Proterozoic, or whatever they want to call it, when it was blasting like throwing all the good stuff up onto the surface.
Yeah, like it seems unreasonable that there aren't like lumps of diamond and all sorts of materials just everywhere. And I mean, I suppose if you think
geodes and stuff, man.
They are further down. Like things happen and then they've been buried up and whatever. But like,
true.
They surely they used to be
bubbles.
To be on the surface.
I like how they always come up in a bubble. You know what I mean? Like they get thrown up in the air and then they naturally form into a bubble by gripping itself. The material which is similar.
The geode. And then why does the geode say it's a bubble?
Special gifts.
It's a bubble
of gifts. I have a gift. Crystal gifts. Give you all the crystal gifts. Micronized crystal gifts. Do you think we'll ever have they say there's bigger ones than that, like like further down, like as you're heading towards the core, like there's big spaces where there's ginormous fucking crystals, man.
Things that are the size of skyscrapers and whatever,
bigger than sky. Like unbelievable size shit. Yeah, there's more than enough stuff down there. Don't have to go into space, it's all underground.
There we go. We're talking out what's going on there.
But yes, there's enough.
Do you think we'll ever have a full map?
There's enough materials under the ground to program, and those hollowed out spaces, if the atmosphere fucks out, like those hollowed out spaces are going to be your, shelter zones.
Can we get down there though? Like, we haven't dug that far.
Haven't been down there.
No, it's too hot.
I haven't been there and just open it up.
I think that Russia took a fair good crack at it, and then gave up. Like it just got. I think it just gets too hot. Like it.
Yeah.
As you get
and providing flow of air down there, figuring out how to get a cyclic air thing going on to suck in and to blow out sometimes.
Because it feels very solid, even though it isn't. It's solid enough for our purposes, even if it is.
And who knows?
But what if we had? Here's the question: do you think we would have
trap pockets of fucking oxygen down there anyway? And
well, sure.
There are, aren't there?
You could load them.
They'd be pretty stale, but yeah.
Do you think that we'll ever have like a full three-dimensional, like real-time map of
the levels of all the crust,
like full detail, like we have for the outside? Like imagine like you could just when you knew where the geodes were.
You'd think, and here's the probable thing, right? You'd think after all the earthquake and all using the data and all the atomic testing, and nuclear testing, and whatever testing, and all those vibrations you've made, they would have made enough patterns through the Earth itself where you pretty much get a good reading of what's down there and where it is, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think that and possibly, but I'm going to guess that the comprehensive global seismic stations
information
network,
on the data,
network that allows us to be able to map now, like internally,
because that would
didn't
contain
exist.
the interferium, sort of when it has to travel through heavier substance versus
and so the waves hit the different stations
versus cavity and shit like that, where there's airspace and the signal doesn't come through, but it comes through in other areas, and it's like it would give indicated airspace in that below, you know what I mean, wherever it came from.
I think the problem is that when we did a lot of those nuclear tests in that era, that we didn't have this global integrated network, so we don't have the data.
We weren't inspired.
We wasted it.
We weren't inspired by the geo data that we could have collected if we'd had the equipment.
Now we have to let those bombs again, just to get the data.
Maybe that's what WW data.